Alright everybody, I am going to be doing a repaint of this HWK-290. The repaint is going to be based on the Moldy Crow card. The Moldy Crow card actually shows the hawk in a light gray rather than this dingy brown. So to start with, I'm going to be using Vallejo Surface Primer Gray. This could actually just be a paint, it doesn't need to be a primer. This just happens to be the color closest to what I want my starting color to be. So I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to be shooting with my airbrush, which is an Iwata Custom Micron B. Okay, I'm going to let the base coat dry and then we'll start doing some detailing. Alright, so for the next step, I'm going to be pulling out the detail using a very thin black wash. Now, I built this wash with Liquitex Airbrush Medium and just a bit of black paint. I've found that the Airbrush Medium, when you make a wash like this, tends to really want to find the recesses. And not glaze over the surface quite so much as, say, for example, the Games Workshop shades. Of course, I do want the glaze. I want to darken that surface color. So this is both bringing out panel lines in detail and acting as my first weathering layer. Alright, we're going to let that dry. Okay, so now I'm going to do the red areas. I probably also could have done this before the wash. Kind of works either way. I'm using Mephiston Red, and as usual I'm thinning my paint down with a bit of Liquitex airbrush medium, which I kind of use for everything. Okay, at this point I'm going to prep my cockpit windows with silver. This is Mithril Silver from the old line of Games Workshop Citadel paints, not the current line. So now I'm just going to let that dry. But while that dries, I'm going to add a little Agrax Earthshade to some elements of the hull as weathering. It's interesting how this light gray has really sort of turned into white, at least to the eye. Once you get the contrasting color in there. So I'm just going to add this to break it up a little. Just a little orange, which is getting all over the place. Okay, I'm going back to my thin black wash for the window areas. Alright, we'll come back to those later. But in the meantime, I'm also going to use it and give it a little bit more coat on the guns here. I don't want the guns to be white. In fact, I'm going to make my wash a little darker. Okay, I found an area where I feel like I went a little heavy with the Agrax Earth shade, like right in here and over here. And I'm going to do something that I did with my Millennium Falcon model. If you watch that one, then you've seen this before, and if not, I'll explain. I'm going to take some Lamian medium, and I'm going to put it over the areas that I have the Agrax Earth shade that I want to remove. And the reason I'm going to do that is because all of the Citadel shades will reactivate or re-wet when you apply other shades over them. Or in this case, if you put the Lamian medium over them, because that is the same medium that the shades are based on. So once that sits for a minute, I can use the brush to rub off the excess Agrax Earth shade that I don't want on there anymore. And if you want to see this technique used more extensively, definitely go check out my Millennium Falcon video. And this side I like okay, although I think up here it might be fun to just nick that up a little bit. There, that's a little better. Alright, I'm going to try and get the engine glow started here, and my starting color is Pacific Blue in the Joe Sonia line. I've mixed it with a little Liquitex airbrush medium to thin it down, and I'm just going to use it to coat over these areas right here. So now I'm going to use the airbrush to just haze a little bit of that Pacific Blue over the back of the engines. And that'll help give a bit of a glow effect. I'm definitely of the opinion that in doing OSL that less is more. Okay, I've mixed up a really light version of that Pacific Blue using a whole lot of white and just a touch of the blue. As I think you can see there. So there's the original color, and here's the new color. And this is going to be my engine hotspot color. Just a little bit too heavy on there. Let's try that again on a different one. Okay, couldn't get that exactly how I wanted, so this is how I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make a thin wash of the Pacific Blue, and I'm going to wash it over this, because really what happened is my first batch was too thin and it went into the recesses where I wanted the dark Pacific Blue. And the second batch was too thick, so I didn't get the kind of glowy effect that I wanted. So I'm going to kind of split the difference here. Wash in the dark color, which will go into the recesses again, and it'll also break up the light color so it's not so heavy. Alright, and then I'm going to let that dry. What I think I'm going to do when I come back is airbrush the hot spot in there. I think that makes the most sense. Okay, I did the airbrush off camera, as I was going to need to work in really close, and I didn't want to screw it up. It's not bad. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, but it's not bad. So at this point, I think the thing to do is to give it a nice clear coat, and this will give me an opportunity to try out Vallejo's matte varnish. Okay, so if you were wondering why I painted the windows silver earlier, it's because I had planned all along to use a clear color on top, and the reflectivity of the silver makes the windows have a little more depth. So what I'm using here is Minitere Ghost Tints, and this is the brown. And I'm just going to drop this rather thickly into the window areas and let it spread. Alright, I'm going to let that dry before I do the side windows so that it doesn't pool in the wrong direction. And then I'm going to do the side windows, and then I'll come back and we'll see what it looks like. And there we are. So I hope you found this video useful, as usual, and if you liked the video, please push like on the video, and if you want to see more of these videos in the future, please be sure to subscribe. And that is it for now. Thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you all later.